Take it easy. Take it easy. I got you. Take it easy.
All right, creatures of the night and our PSK Pod Street crew. Welcome to episode 205 of Talking Taker, our encyclopedic exploration digging up the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker.
There he is.
My name is Alex Dorio. I want to thank you for joining us for yet another round of Dead Man Talking. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host, my tag team partner, my wrestling buddy. He is the man who gave me a copy of No Mercy 2002 on DVD for my 17th birthday. I will never forget it. Wrapped in aluminum foil, as was his tradition when he gave gifts to me. And Mr. Travis White is his name. And Travis, we are talking about that iconic pay-per-view, the legendary main event, a main event that we got a lot of love for, and we're going to revisit here tonight, watch along style. But before we get into that, Travis, I just need to confirm something that was going around the internet all week for the past few days.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm that you, in fact, were not blocked by Teddy Long on Twitter. Because you do not, in fact, have a Twitter.
Exactly. I was not blocked by Teddy Long.
A lot of other
on
people
Twitter.
were.
I bet Undertaker wasn't.
Oh, never.
That was great, man. Teddy blocking people, and turns out it was somebody else, and he did a video from the gym telling him, sorry, player.
Teddy Long in the gym.
Yeah, you know that was a ruse. He's like, crap, I gotta do something. Let's go to the gym so it looks like I'm busy. Yeah.
He just bought a membership to Planet Fitness that day.
Probably. Oh, Teddy.
Well, Talking Taker was not blocked because he has not allowed us to follow him because his tweets are protected. So we have requested to follow him, but he never let us follow him. But we're not blocked, technically.
That's good. That's good.
It is good. Well, Teddy Long was not quite around. Well, I guess he was a referee in 2002 or a manager. Might have been a manager at this point. He was not the Teddy Long.
Was he with the Mac Militant?
He might have been with Mac Militant, Rodney Mac,
earlier,
Mark
think.
Henry. He was not a general manager that we went to.
No, this is 02. Mac Militant wasn't until like 03 and 4, I don't think. So, yeah, this probably...
It might have been with Mark Henry at this point.
He might have been with Mizark. I don't know.
Or he might have still been a referee. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, No Mercy 2002. We're talking about these two guys here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see who I'm talking about. The Undertaker, Big Evil, Red Devil, Biker Taker, and Brock Lesnar, the undisputed champion at this point, going head-to-head in a absolutely, there's no other word to describe it, violent Hell in a Cell match. A match that you and I, Travis, we both unanimously rated as the #1 match of the Biker Taker era, and it is celebrating its 20-year anniversary here in the month of October. It took place October 20th, 2002, and we are going to revisit it, man. Just like, what comes to mind when you think about this match? What are your first memories and thoughts of it?
Blood. Lots of blood. And just brutal, like you said. And just, this was a coming out for Brock. This is where he was already legit. Look at him. And he'd already beaten The Rock. But this was something that really put him in an upper echelon, you know, like so quickly. And this has really cemented him as the guy. So, what about you?
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, the blood, we could be sponsored by a blood bank for this episode. Maybe we should do a blood drive in connection to this episode because there's so much of it. There's even the manager bleeds during this match, which is something that you just never see. And yeah, you know, Brock had just one of the greatest rookie years ever already up to this point. He won the King of the Ring. He'd beaten Hulk Hogan. He'd beaten The Rock at SummerSlam to win the Undisputed Championship. Flair, Jeff Hardy, Edge, all sorts of guys. He's beaten everybody, Hall of Famers, and he goes on to this feud with The Undertaker, and I think it's really this feud, the month before it, Unforgiven 2002, where they have a big brawl, and this match that really is the icing on the cake, that really cements him, pushes him over the top into really earning that next big thing label that is going to spur his career on to continue to be a driving force in WWE 20 years later.
Yeah, has anybody ever debuted the night after WrestleMania, the main evented the next year's WrestleMania?
You know, I don't know. He might be the only one. He might
It's
be the only one. I
crazy.
can't think of anybody else. Off
It
the top
wasn't
of my
like he
head.
changed gimmicks and became a new gimmick. He debuted, and a year later was in the main event. It's just incredible, and he's still going. I mean, we haven't seen him since the SummerSlam this year, but he's still around.
He'll be back.
Oh yeah, Triple H
Shaved his beard.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, hey, he can do whatever the heck he wants to.
He can.
So
He's still got the ponytail.
He might come back with a butt cut or something. Who knows? He might come back with just shaved bald, just like Eugene or what's Gene Snitsky?
No, we don't want that.
Uh,
We can't be having that. But yeah, an absolutely classic match. We are going to do it watch along style. Of course, we did cover it originally on the podcast way back on episode 92 of the podcast. Here we are, episode 205. But this one, it definitely deserves a rewatch and a revisit and a re-celebration of it. So we're going to talk about a little bit about what led into this match, some of the stats and the figures behind it, why it's so important. We're going to get into that a little bit later on in the show. But as we do here on Talking Taker, we are monthly now. We want to get into all the Undertaker sightings of the past month. Yeah. Boom.
half on a half-decade destruction shirt.
We've
had to order me one.
We've done that. Undertaker's done his 3 decades of destruction. We got a half decade here. But
Crazy.
Undertaker sightings, of course, this month, brought to you by the new album from Travis White, the new EP, streaming now on Apple Music and Spotify. All your streaming services out there. Tidal, Napster, Kazaa. It's out there. LimeWire. It's called Bridges by Travis White. Travis, man, how many albums does this make for you in 2022?
7 or 8? I can't remember.
7 and 8 in 2022?
Oh, in 2022? No,
Yeah.
this is just 2.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I thought I meant total.
No.
Since 2020.
Yeah, I know you've had a prolific past 3 years, but tell us about Bridges, man. Just came out on September 26th.
Yeah, Monday for listening to this when it drops. It came out last Monday. So yeah, it's short, it's sweet, it's a little different style for me. It's a little more on the nose, praise and worship-y. So if you're into that, enjoy it. If not, you can listen. But anyway, it's got my friend on lead vocals on the last song on there. Yeah, it's really good to have her. She brings a lot of soul to that song. So, and just really short songs. And I'll break some news here. The album is called Bridges because none of the songs have a bridge in them.
Whoa, I didn't pick up on that.
Good.
Okay.
They're just verses and choruses. That's it. So no bridges. I didn't overcomplicate things. Sometimes when you try to write a bridge of a song, it makes it difficult because you're just trying too hard. I wrote these songs almost as quick as like short as they are. So, yeah, no bridges, didn't try. So that's why it's called Bridges. Just a little joke for myself. So
I like it. I dig it. No, it just sounds like that's just a nice, lovely album title.
Yeah.
Like you could interpret it however you want.
Exactly. There's several interpretations, but that's
cool.
The real one. Yeah.
That's nice. Well, like I said, it is streaming everywhere. You got YouTube videos for all the song, lyric videos, and yeah, man, that's the awesome thing about music now is you can just you can put out 3 songs and just say, here we are. I don't have to wait till I have a whole 12 or 14 of them. I don't have to do any fluff. These are the 3 songs I got. These 3 songs I like. Here they are. You can enjoy them. You can listen to them, and they're great. Just a lot of great production on there as well. And you're going to be performing some of them live in the month of October?
Yeah, October 13th. If you're in the Tri-Cities area, East Tennessee, come on down. It's going to be my last show for the time being. I don't know when I'll get back out. Life is busy.
Last show for 2022. Let's just say
last show 2022.
Let's just say that.
Just the foreseeable future, just because. But I'm gonna go out with a bang. I got a good set list ready, and got some special guests gonna sing with me. So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna perform all these songs and other ones that I've done, and a lot of cool cover songs too. So some new cover songs I've never done before. So it'll be fun.
Let's just say this. I'm gonna hold you to this, Travis, or challenge you. If a listener of Talking Taker comes, will you play Taker Easy? Will you throw it in? At least the first verse.
At least the first verse.
Okay.
Sure.
So if you are a Talking Taker listener, tell Travis. Tell Travis when you get there. Yell it out. Yeah. But you'd like to do medleys. You could throw it into a medley somewhere.
I do.
I feel like
I have
you
a lot
could
of
do
medleys
that.
this time.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So that'll be
Good stuff.
Delta Blues Barbecue, October the
13th.
13th.
6 to 8 p.m.
All right. Thursday the 13th.
Night. Come on out.
I love it, man.
You can stay with me. No, you can't. Yeah, you can. My parents are staying with my mother-in-law. You can stay with me.
You can park your car in his driveway and sleep in the car.
Sleep in the camper. I got a camper in the driveway.
You do have the camper. That's true. I love it, man.
Just
Proud
don't
of
be
you.
a freak.
Excited for you. And I'm glad you got a show. Undertaker himself has had a few shows since we last recorded and has got some coming up. Of course, he had 2 more One Dead Man shows in Cardiff, Wales, the weekend of Clash at the Castle. And he's got another one coming up at Extreme Rules weekend. And it looks like he's going to be traveling around some of the pay-per-views. I'm sure he won't be at every pay-per-view, but it looks like he's going to be at quite a few of them. Wouldn't shock me at all at this point. Who knows? But I tried to solicit some responses for that the Cardiff One Dead Man shows. Wasn't able to find anything. Actually didn't even find anything online for as far as recaps go for those. Like I said, when I recapped the one in Nashville, they're very tight on recording and photography and all that sort of stuff, and it didn't seem like anybody posted any notes or anything for the Cardiff shows, but if you are going to the Philly show at Extreme Rules, we would love to hear from you. You can come on the show. You can tell us about your experience at the One Dead Man show. You can recount some of the stories he told. Just slide into the Talking Taker DMs and let us know if you're going to be there. We'd love to have you on there and hear more about it, but it's very cool that he's doing these, and hopefully you and I could go to one maybe sometime.
Love to. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
You can listen back to last month's episode to hear the full recap of the very first one of those. I spilled the beans and recapped pretty much the whole show for you there. He is going to be also appearing, I saw, at the Pittsburgh Steel City Comic Con, so he is out still doing autograph signings and things like that, in addition to all the One Dead Man shows. And I just want to reiterate, Travis, our promise, our guarantee, that if you get a picture with The Undertaker in any of our Talking Taker t-shirts, Taker Easy shirt, the one you're wearing, the Half Decade of Destruction shirt, any of those with The Undertaker, post it online, share it with us. We will send you a very special gift, exclusive gift from Talking Taker that you cannot get anywhere else.
Exactly. Offer still stands.
Yeah.
We've had one.
We've had one. Take us up on it. And
and he got something exclusive.
He got something exclusive. And Princeton John, I believe, he got on the Thunderdome wearing a Talking Taker shirt, and we sent him out something special as well. So, hey, if you get on TV, if you get on Raw, SmackDown, AEW, Impact, I guess Impact will give you something.
Velocity.
If you go back in time and get on Velocity,
main event,
we will send you a Talking Taker care package.
NXT
if you're wearing a Talking Taker shirt on TV, we'll do something like that. Yeah, NXT next level.
AEW Dark,
WCW Pro, any of that stuff, man.
Saturday night, Battle of the Bulge belts. I mean, whatever it's called, anything.
Speaking of Dead Man shows, we also can talk about Dead Man shoes.
That's right. That's right. I sent you today some Dead Man shoes. What's that guy's name?
Damian Lillard from the Portland Trailblazers, an NBA star.
Yeah, man. He customized some shoes, some Bros of Destruction shoes. I think the inside sole on the right shoe is Taker, and the inside sole on the left is Kane. Or it's like him with
those faces
as like Taker and Kane. So yeah, giving some love to the Bros of Destruction, in the NBA. LeBron wouldn't stood up. Taker
did not give any love.
But Damian Lillard is all about it. I hope Taker goes to visit him.
Well, to be fair, LeBron did. He wore the shirt, but he did not. He didn't want to talk with Undertaker.
Yeah, well, he's not talking Taker.
And he's
yeah. You know who would have been? Michael Jordan.
You think so?
Kobe Bryant.
I think so.
I tell you, Karl Malone would have been. And
Karl Malone would have skipped the game. Just out there talking with Taker. Rodman would have for sure. Man, that's just neat. Like it just shows you the impact that Undertaker had, the crossover effect beyond professional wrestling fans. Well, obviously he is a wrestling fan, but he's one of the probably top 10, top 15 guys in NBA. I don't follow NBA hardcore, but I know that guy. I know he's a star, and that's a big deal for him to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was retweeted and stuff all over today, everywhere. It was all kind of sports places were retweeting and stuff. It was cool. But yeah, like I said, it's not like a promotion that WWE is trying to do with him. He just did it on his own. Like, I think he has a endorsement from these insoles or something for the shoes, and so he just custom designed those as
Right.
like, how cool is that? You could have chosen anything, and he chose Taker and Kane. It's awesome.
It's like the UFC fighter from
Yeah.
last month that
Yep.
did his entrance. You know, that wasn't sponsored or anything like
No.
that. That was just because he's a fan and because of the cultural impact of Taker, which is, you know, that's why we do this podcast, right?
Exactly.
Well, I had one more story. It's not really an Undertaker sighting, but it's something that I stumbled across online the other day, and I took a screenshot of it. I was on Reddit, you know, on the wrestling Reddit, which, you know, I spend too much time while I'm at work scrolling on there trying to kill time. But and it is tangentially related to the Undertaker. So I wanted to share it. I thought it was funny. I hadn't heard it before. 2016. Undertaker, WrestleMania 32 versus Shane McMahon. Of course. Hell in a Cell match, Travis. You remember that well, don't you?
I do.
And if you were to describe that storyline in one word, what's one word that comes to mind about the Undertaker, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon storyline? WrestleMania 32.
Pointless. I mean, I don't know. There was no storyline. Wasn't one.
Well, what was the storyline between Vince and Shane? What were they fighting over?
Was it the statue or whatever? No, it was the God, I can't think of what it's called. It was the papers or whatever. The
lockbox.
Yeah,
lockbox. That's right.
Yeah, the lockbox.
That's what we all wondered. There was Shane
What's
had a
in the
lockbox.
box? Yeah.
Shane had the lockbox with the secrets about Vince. He was going to bring those out if he were to beat the Undertaker.
Later.
Well, yeah, I think that's what this thread was about originally. But so I confirm this. This is just a random guy on Reddit. But they're talking about the lockbox. And this guy, just Gentile, I guess he's called, just Gentile. I asked a former head writer I met doing some YouTube work about Shane's lockbox. And what he basically explained to me was Vince came in very excited about the lockbox pitch. He didn't tell anyone where he was going with it. And so then they wrote the entire show around it that night on Raw. Next week at Raw, the creative meeting comes to get Raw together, and everyone says, all right, what's going to happen with the lockbox? And Vince didn't even remember what the lockbox was, or that he'd even talked about it that week before. So he said, if I don't remember it, surely the audience won't either.
Baloney. That's the only thing that the audience remembers is what's in the box.
I just thought that, first of all, it reveals the secret of the lockbox and that there was none after all this
surprise time. To no one. Yeah.
But that just speaks so much, I guess, to Vince always, but really, you know, I'd say of the past 5 to 10 years or so of his, just the way he thinks, the way it's like, forget it. We'll just move on. They'll get over it. They won't remember it. I don't remember it. So who cares if they remember it? And yet, as wrestling fans, we're some of the most obsessive fans ever, and that's all we think about and all we want to know about. It's just it cracked me up, man. I thought I should share that.
That's pretty good. That's super funny. Yeah, I'd say 6 years later, Shane dumped that lockbox out onto the attorney's table after they let him go after Royal Rumble this year. Here we are. But
here we are.
I wish Vince the best in his retirement, and Triple H is killing it right now. That's all I gotta say.
Man, yeah, unbelievable. Raw and SmackDown doing great, and a lot of great storylines, a lot of great entertainment. Fun time to be a wrestling fan right now.
Yeah, it is.
AEW super fun as well. Some great stuff at the Grand Slam event.
They've been an absolute train wreck for a while.
Well, backstage, yes.
Yeah, and then they just hit a reboot last week, and it's like, all right, let's go. So yeah,
true.
Anyway.
Well, that's it, man. I don't have anything else current day Undertaker going on.
Oh, I read a story today online. It was an interview that Drew McIntyre. We've talked about this before, but it was just an interview I read today. He was saying that in 2000 and whatever it was, 6, 8, when were they there? 8 maybe. Him and Sheamus came up to the main roster, and he was saying that, this Vince was a big pitching back. He was the chosen one, and we've heard about how Taker had told him, don't be a wrestler, quit playing wrestler, don't be a wrestler. But he was just saying in this interview that he wished all the stuff Taker told him back then was true then, but it's more true now. He wishes he had the insight he had now. He said, but Vince told him, like, you're going to be my guy on SmackDown. Sheamus my guy on Raw. Those are the two. Like, we got to build new stars. The Attitude Era guys are going out. Triple H is going to mentor Sheamus. Taker's going to mentor you. Like, that was directives from Vince, which we've kind of beat around the bush about that in interviews from both those guys. So it was kind of cool to hear that. That was the deal. But, he's like, Taker always was nice to me, and the way he handled himself. He taught me how to be professional backstage, like just the way he handled backstage arguments and this and that and the wrestler's court. And he said, honestly, the thing I learned most about him was just how much he took. He said he was just literally couldn't walk backstage. He'd be laying on ice or sitting there, and it'd be like, he was talking about a Mexico house show, live event. Can we call them house shows now, Triple H back in?
I don't know, pal.
But anyway, a Mexico house show. He's backstage, just can't even move, and then all of a sudden, he's standing at Gorilla, and his music hits, and he walks out, and then just does the match like he's a luchador. He's just like the effort, the guy, and he never whined, never cried. He just did it, and it was a house show in Mexico. Like, just the respect that he has for the fans, and just how he gives 100%. So it was just cool. Again, nothing groundbreaking, nothing we don't already know and have proof of, but it was cool to hear a current guy say something about Taker that wasn't like, oh, he's an old man yelling at the clouds, So it was nice. So.
Yeah, and you can tell, his impact is going to have an impact for generations, because Drew McIntyre is going to be around
that guy now.
for the next 10 years or so.
And Drew is a locker room leader.
And he'll pass that down, to the next generation as well.
Yeah, there are guys that are still in the middle of that old school and new school, like a Drew, like a Sheamus, like a Cody Rhodes, like Roman even. He's kind of in the middle of the new AJ. But there's some guys that are just, it's just they're still carrying that torch of the older generation, but still got a new, swagger about him and stuff. So anyway, it's cool.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the matches that is the reason why The Undertaker could barely walk sometimes is the one we're going to cover right here, right now.
Segue.
No Mercy 2002, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. The main event, Undisputed Championship. Like I said, 20th anniversary of this match. One of the greatest matches of either man's career, I would have to say. One of the most violent, one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. Everybody, you always hear about Bad Blood 97, rightfully so. You hear about King of the Ring 98, rightfully so. And I think this one is probably right up there with it as one of the top ones ever.
Yeah, I'm going to put these three and then the one that Seth and Cody just had this year.
Dude,
golly.
I mean, that's probably one of the best ones of the past
4 best ones.
5 or 10 years, for sure.
Taker and Triple H at Mania.
Right.
With Shawn. Those might be the top 5 right there. So.
Well, we're not going to go through the whole build for this matchup. If you want to hear about all that, go back to episode 92. And actually, you don't even have to scroll that far on your podcast feed. Exactly. I did something a little different with the podcast feed this month. I brought episode 92 back from the dead, if you will. And it is right there at the top of our podcast feed. So you just scroll down one from this current podcast. If you want to hear that classic episode, Talking Taker, we're going to try to do more of those things. We got 200 plus episodes of Talking Taker. You're going to try to bring some of them back from the dead, reboot them at the top of your podcast feed because they're fun to listen to. Man, I listen to the old ones all the time, actually. Like, I'm going through 95 Superstars right now. I put those on the background while I'm working. And, when I hit a pay-per-view, I'll watch the pay-per-view and I'll listen back to the Talking Taker on that pay-per-view, man. Some of those early episodes, they're evergreen. They're timeless. And that's the great thing about them. So, and they're free. Our entire archive's all free, all available wherever you listen to podcasts. Go check them out. Enough about us. Let's talk about this match. Man, Travis, do you remember much about the build-up to this match? And if so, what exactly do you remember?
I remembered that there was a broken hand backstage. I remembered that. And I remembered... That's about it. That's about what I remembered from this build-up.
Do you remember how that hand was broken?
Was it crushed backstage, or was it in like a fence or something? Some kind of gate?
Yeah, you're thinking of the right area. Undertaker's actually having a match with Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy.
Hardcore Falls Count Anywhere match. And Matt Hardy is, oddly enough, like the third man in this whole rivalry this whole month. He's at the very, very
Always
beginning.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
You know?
Poor Matt Hardy. Sorry. Go ahead.
But it's cool. It's like this is the highest profile spot he's been in as a solo act up to this point. And he debuts the Matt Fax during this whole build up. It's the first time he does anything like that. So he's really starting to build up that V1 character.
He just came over from Raw or something too, didn't he?
Correct.
Okay.
He had just split up with Jeff. Correct.
That's right. Okay.
So he's having that match with Undertaker. Brock Lesnar comes in and interferes, and he picks up like a, I don't know what, like a keg or something, and smashes Taker's hand with it. And it's really one of the first times we see Undertaker just as vulnerable. He's like screaming and crying out in pain. And he gets this cast put on him. And, I assume it's a work, but it's so weird to see him with this cast on throughout this feud and into this match. It's a kind of an old school way of building to things that you don't see so much with the fake cast. We haven't seen a good fake cast angle in a while.
No, we haven't. Really haven't. Not the last cast I remember was Angle, like in 2006 or something. His leg.
Oh my gosh.
2005
That's
maybe?
right. Yeah. He's in the wheelchair.
Did Zack Ryder have a cast on when he got pushed off? No, he just had a neck brace on.
He had neck brace on for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a good fake cast, but Bob Orton, of course.
Bob Orton's still wearing that cast. Maybe Randy will come back with a cast on.
I'd like that. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And there's another element to this build-up, Travis. So we've got this blood feud between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, and they've built it up. There's this half the time they're doing all this great interviews and promos with Brock Lesnar being the young guy, the new face of this ruthless aggression era, and Taker being the old guard. Brock's trying to beat him and earn that respect from everybody. Some great promo work between both these guys. Yeah. And then every other segment, they're doing this soap opera nonsense with Sarah, who is the Undertaker's wife at the time, who was pregnant at the time, and a woman named Tracy.
Tracy.
Do you remember Tracy?
I remember Tracy now that you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even at the time, I remember in episode 92, we were talking about how it's just like, why? We didn't need that for this. We didn't. I understand the sports entertainment's part of it, but not this. If there's a story that doesn't need that part, it's this. These are just two guys slugging it away. They hate each other. That's all you had to do.
So for those of you who don't remember, Tracy is a woman who Paul Heyman brings over to SmackDown, who supposedly has had a recent affair with The Undertaker, who is a married man with a pregnant wife, and who knew Undertaker back in the day, back in the old school days, and is rehooked up with him, who's trying to psychologically twist and plays mind games with Undertaker in these days. It's all this soap opera stuff, and as I was thinking about it, man, I just think about that. I feel like they were trying to inject some realism into this angle, quote unquote. It's at the same time, literally at the same time going on, that Undertaker's brother Kane is dealing with Katie Vick.
Yeah,
and all of that on Raw is going on concurrently. But when we say we want realism as wrestling fans, it's the other stuff where like Undertaker and Brock are talking about Brock trying to take the spot of the Undertaker,
right?
And that real life tension between these two guys trying to hang on to their spot. That's the realism that we want. That's the kind of stuff that we want.
Scrum that's a work, not a shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah, give me that.
We don't need fake mistresses and things like that. Or I won't even say that. There's a time and a place for that.
Yeah. Raven and Tommy Dreamer. Perfect example of this, but told in the right context. That was the basis for their storyline. This is not the basis. This just comes in later. Like, it's just like an added thing. So, the time and place for all of it. On Raw, soon after this, there'll be HLA. I'm just kidding. There's no time, no place for that. I'm just kidding. But I'm saying, there's certain moments that certain characters that don't need this stuff, and these are certainly two characters that don't need it.
it's the characters. You're right.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the Undertaker's wife. Period. We never needed to
Right.
see Sarah, much less having storylines built off that, multiple ones.
Yeah.
But I actually did some research, man. I try to do a little extra research for these episodes nowadays they were digging into something a second time, and I want to talk about Tracy. Tracy, the woman who played the Undertaker's mistress in the storyline. And I looked her up. She's not hard to find online. Her name is Tracy Dolly. Born September 17th, 1966 in Oceanside, California. And she was an actress. She was an actress and a model. And I kind of want to go through her history with you, Travis, because I find it to be quite interesting.
Okay.
I was wondering, like, where in the world did this woman come from? How did she get to be, because she's not a wrestler. She's not affiliated with
Right.
wrestling at all. How did she wind up in this part, playing this part? And I think I pinpointed exactly where she came from.
All right. Hit me with it.
So number one, she does have an IMDb with about 50 different entries on it. So she is an actress. She is an actress in some things that are not on IMDb. I'll let you figure out. Do some work.
There it is. Paul Heyman found her then.
That is probably where she got found. Yes.
Yeah.
She's in some cool things, though. I had no idea. Her first credit on IMDb, Back to the Future Part 2, as
There you go.
Jacuzzi Girl number 2.
That says everything I need to know.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Also, in Encino Man.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Uncredited. So most of these are uncredited. So I feel like she's basically a background worker in most of these. But Encino Man, I thought you'd appreciate that.
I love it.
Beverly Hills 90210. She was in an episode of Martial Law, starring Sammo Hung, which used to come on before Raw on Monday nights. Pacific Blue, another USA Network show.
USA Network fan.
She was on The Young and the Restless. She was on Curb Your Enthusiasm for an episode. She was in Get Him to the Greek, which was one of her more recent credits. She was in, and this is where I believe she came from to the WWE. She was actually a uncredited role in The Scorpion King in 2002. So I am guessing someone saw her on the set of The Scorpion King and brought her in to play this role. That is where I think she comes from.
That's probably what happened.
I feel like that's what happened.
This old Dwayne, old DJ.
And then she's in, yeah, it could have been, yeah. She's in one more credit that I don't know if anyone else listening to this is going to get, Travis, but I need to know that you're going to get this, and I feel like you are.
All right.
1993, she was on an episode of a television show called America's Funniest People. Do you remember that program?
That was with with Joey Gladstone.
Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier, yeah. Bob Saget was on America's Funniest Home Videos, and then Dave Coulier had America's Funniest People. I watched both of them.
What do you remember about America's Funniest People with Dave Coulier?
That's what I remember. The Jackalope.
She played the Jackalopes girlfriend on an episode of America's Funniest People.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Oh, wow. Wow. I did not see that coming.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to know the show, and I knew you were going to do the Jackalope.
Voice. All right. I love it. Oh, Jackalope. That's amazing. I haven't thought of that in years.
If there's one other listener who recognizes that, it's probably Randy Turco. But if there's anyone else, I need to know. I need to know if we got any Jackalope fans out there. That is such a stupid thing that is burned into our brains.
I did that voice the other day for my kids for something, and they're like, "What is that?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." Like that.
You're not gonna understand.
Yeah, because I don't.
I don't even understand. You're right.
That's amazing.
So she went from the Jackalope's girlfriend to the Undertaker's girlfriend. What a dating history for Tracy. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I thought you'd appreciate that.
I do. Encino Man and the Jackalope. That's amazing. This is one of my favorite episodes.
Well, I want to also give some stats and figures before we get into this match. that I like to do on some of these watch-alongs as far as the Undertaker's history and legacy here, as far as Hell in a Cell goes and No Mercy goes. This is No Mercy 2002, and Undertaker kind of had a rough go of it on No Mercy pay-per-views. Man, he has competed at 8 of them across his history, and he actually has a 1-7 overall record at No Mercy. So a bad losing record at No Mercy.
Dang.
His only win came in 2001 against...
Test?
Ooh, close. His tag team partner at that time, Booker T.
Booker T.
Yeah. His
Dang.
only No
All right.
Mercy win of all time. Taker has a much better record inside Hell in a Cell itself.
Yeah.
An 8-6 overall record, 14 Hell in a Cell matches. Actually, before this match here in 2002, he had a 3-2 Hell in a Cell record. And then when you include this match, he has a 5-4 Hell in a Cell record. So there's that. But unfortunately, he has an 0-2 record against Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. They faced off, of course, at this match, and then 13 years later at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, where Undertaker lost, in another very good match, a very good late-era Undertaker match. And
nobody else has ever beaten him twice in a cell, have they?
No one has ever beaten him twice in a cell. There have actually been 51 Hell in a Cell matches in WWE, and only Brock and Taker and one other combination of two guys have had 2 Hell in a Cell matches together. Have had a Hell in a Cell rematch. Do you have any guesses as to other Hell in a Cell rematch? Only other one in history.
Is it Randy Orton and somebody?
It is Randy Orton.
And it's not Seth, is it?
It is not Seth.
I don't know. It's
It
Randy
is
and some
John Cena.
Cena, okay.
Yep. 2 matches I couldn't tell you a darn thing about. Not that memorable.
No, I don't remember those. I mean, I remember that I remember one. I don't remember the second one, but I'm not surprised.
Well, one was in 2009, one was in 2014. And I will give a little asterisk to this. CM Punk did face Ryback in 2012 in Hell in a Cell, and then faced Ryback and Paul Heyman the very next year in 2013 at Hell in a Cell, in a match that I have zero memory of when I was doing my research for this.
I remember that.
I remember the first one because I was there live, because it was in Atlanta, and I went to the show in 2012. I don't even remember at all that he faced Paul Heyman and Ryback. Apparently, Paul Heyman never even got in the ring, so he did kind of technically have the third Hell in a Cell rematch against Ryback there, but I don't remember that at all. And I was watching pretty religiously at that time.
That was when Heyman had turned on him, and
I remember the storyline.
He was going with trying to get Ryback. Ryback was bad guy at that point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they tried to reheat him up, and it's not working.
I don't remember them having a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, I don't think it was very long, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably not. So yeah, there's some little fun facts and figures for you.
Fun fact for you, yeah. There we go. That's good stuff.
You want to get to this match?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. We're going to do this watch-along style as we have done many times. I'm sure you're very well familiar with the watch-along style. We will give you the timestamp here on Peacock to cue this match up. We will do a running commentary for it if you want to watch along with us. If not, we will make it just as entertaining. Whether you're out there at the gym, driving in the car, you can still listen to this and enjoy it even if you're not watching it. So, we had this issue last time we did a watch-along here, Travis, on Peacock, but you and I, we appear to be at the same place watching the video, and yet you and I have 2 different time cues. So they're only a couple seconds apart. I'm at 2:13:37. You're at what?
2:13:34.
Weird.
I think we have the same. I got a red N and a barbed wire O on my screen. So
yeah. So basically, you're gonna get over to the point where Taker and Brock, the video package is over, and we're just about to start the match. Yeah, as soon as it ends, we're going to get into this. There's about 30 minutes here between the entrance and the matches and all that before the show goes off the air. Do your best to get there as soon as the video package ends. The timestamp may be totally different for you, but we're around 2:13, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Doesn't really matter. As long as you're there, you'll pretty much get what we're talking about. So
exactly.
We'll give you a chance to get there. Maybe we'll play the video package right here with the recap for the match. Give you a minute to pause for the cause, get ready for the match, get the time queued up. And Travis, why don't you give us the countdown, as you are the one to do that. You are the traditional timekeeper.
The chosen one.
Yes.
The keeper of the time. Tick-tock. All right, so we're going to count this down from 3, 2, 1, play. So let's go. And 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Got Brock on the screen. Great music.
Always.
It took me years to hear the record scratch in it. Like once
Really?
we got the album, I don't think I ever heard it like in the arenas. Yeah. Look how, he's such a beast right there, but look how such a baby he looks compared to like the man
incarnate.
He is now. It's great. And look how small Paul Heyman is.
Yeah, he's
small Heyman.
Yes.
If you're watching, I have my laptop on my lap. That's why I'm looking down.
Well,
so.
That's where it's supposed to be.
It's called a laptop. Look at it. I like this production though. The view through the chain link.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
And I think it's pretty cool. They actually, I'm not listening to the commentary now, but I listened to our original episode. They actually talk about how Brock Lesnar is choosing to enter first here. It is the champion's prerogative whether they enter first or last, and he wants to enter first because he wants to be in there waiting for Undertaker.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated that from Cole and Taz right there.
Yeah, that's a great little note, and just a small character thing to just build up that this guy doesn't care. Like he's there to wreck the Undertaker,
He's not afraid of him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, look at that big cell. It's come a long way in the 5 years it's been around.
Yeah, it's colored red now.
Oh, I mean in 2002.
Oh, in 2002. Yeah.
It's only been around for 5 years, and it's bigger than the originals.
No, it is.
But yeah, now it's like neon red. Yeah.
And Undertaker's one of the guys who really established this match, and of course, I'd say he's the guy who established it with Bad Blood and King of the Ring '98 as well.
Yeah, when I think of Hell in a Cell, I think of the Undertaker. I know that Triple H is very well affiliated with it because he's had so many. I think Punk's had several too.
He has.
Roman's probably had several.
Roman's had a few. Randy, Seth.
Right, yeah,
all
but
those guys.
I think of, if you say who do you think of when you think of Hell in a Cell, I think of the Undertaker. Like I always will.
Yeah, you made a great point, man. Seth and Cody had probably the best one of the past 5 or 10 years. Really kind of reestablished it there.
And even if he hadn't had that giant blood blister, oh, look at that man coming out, Taker. The red and black attack. I like that sign.
And I know New Day and Usos had a really good one.
Mm-hmm. Look, he's not riding the bike down. He's walking.
There's no way. There's nowhere to fit the bike.
Exactly. You just ride it into the thing. Yeah, but yeah, it's Hell in a Cell's been watered down because of PG-ness and because they feel like they have to do it, and it's become just like, oh, it's a pay-per-view, so we have to have it. The Hell in a Cell served the story.
It did. Yeah, exactly.
It told a story here. It wasn't just because it was October. It was because this story needed it. So I appreciate that, and I understand why they brand him, and we've talked about that ad nauseum on here.
Sure.
But it is nice to have this be an organic one. And look at this, going right at it. I love it.
I love, I don't love, but it's interesting that Taker didn't slam the door there.
Yeah.
That's kind of sort of a Taker tradition to slam the door behind him at Hell in a Cell. But I guess that's more of a dead man tradition here than the Big Evil.
Yeah. It is weird seeing him with that giant white cast on.
It is going to play a role here. It has played a role in the build-up. He has used it as a weapon against Brock Lesnar, has busted him open. We actually brought out our Talking Taker blood tracker and the
Yeah,
whole
we did.
build up to this. I think there were 7 instances of blood, including this match, amongst all the build up. So everybody's getting busted open all the time throughout this. It was a big deal whether Stephanie was going to allow him to wear the cast, and he actually got a some sort of steroid or cortisol injection or something before the match. There's a backstage scene with him getting injected, getting some performance-enhancing drugs before this match starts. Our babyface hero, The Undertaker.
Yeah, get some PEDs. Hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's probably what he would have said. So he had just recently turned face to feud with Brock.
Yeah, just 2 months
basically.
before this. He'd been a heel throughout
It was
all of
after
2002
Vengeance,
up to this.
right? We talked about the Vengeance match. We rewatched that triple threat on here. And,
Exactly. That was his
right
last
the
night as a heel.
after. Yeah.
Last night he
turned-
ever had as a heel in the rest of his career.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah,
Crazy,
man, he's probably having, I mean, you might could argue a career year here in 2002. I mean, he's having some of his best in-ring work ever at this point, 12 years into his career.
Hulk Hogan. Also a match with Hulk Hogan.
I mean, that was also happening. Yeah. Some
No,
of the
but I
best
agree.
and the worst. Yeah.
2002 is one of the greatest in-ring years in the history of wrestling.
Period.
And I will,
For anyone.
I will stand by that.
That's a good argument.
2002 is absolute. 2001 even as well, but 2002 when you got these 4 bright, shiny new toys in Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista. Yeah, I mean Batista's not even on the scene yet.
He might have just debuted around this time. Yeah.
So I think by the time we get to Armageddon, he's Batista. He's not Deacon anymore, and he's going to be with Flair, I think. So I think he's flopped to Raw. So yeah, he may have been, but he wasn't the Batista we know. But the other 3 are getting pushed pretty well. This one the most. You know, Brock obviously the biggest draw out of all of them.
And that's so important.
At this point.
That's so important to remember here. He is a rookie. He is 6 months onto the main roster at this point, and here he is in a Hell in a Cell as the champion against the Undertaker, and absolutely holding his own. I mean, that is unheard of.
And you know that was Taker's job right here, was to make this guy be legit. Like, we have to establish this guy is a legitimate threat, you know, and he is a beast. He is the next big thing. You know, we established that with him beating Rock, but we got to cement it.
But how many times have we seen that, and have they done that, and it's been a flop? You know, the guys cannot live up to that.
Who's the German guy?
Kozlov?
No, I'm talking
Ludwig
superstars,
Borga. You know, take your pick. Luther Reigns.
Yeah.
Giant Gonzalez. Take your pick, man. The Undertaker's career is littered with those guys.
These guys, yeah.
He's always been there as he takes Brock down with that cast. And you can see that Band-Aid on Brock's face from when he was busted open probably a week or 2 ago on SmackDown.
Yep. Is that Ref Mike Chioda here?
That is Mike Chioda in there, holding things down.
Oh, hit him in the head with the cast. I like that. It's legal. It's Hell in a Cell. Anything goes.
And look at Taker selling it, though.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever see that with someone with a cast. Like, but his arm is broken. It doesn't matter. The cast doesn't make it not hurt.
Right, exactly.
It's still gonna hurt. As someone who has had casts on both of his arms in his life before, I can tell you that it still freaking hurts if you bang that cast against something. It's gonna hurt the other person, but it's gonna hurt you too.
Yeah,
I love
no
that
doubt.
Taker sells that.
Not to mention unsetting your bone. And Brock is busted open.
He is there.
And he's going to be selling like he probably hasn't sold before, because if there's one guy who can take him to the limit, it's The Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker is probably the first person to ever bust him open. Like I said, I know it's already happened on TV, but I don't think anyone besides Undertaker has ever done that. Look at Heyman.
Heyman, yeah, he can't believe it. He is so good.
Heyman's performance in this match, I put it right up there with his performance at the WrestleMania 30 with Undertaker and Lesnar. I mean, he makes this match in a lot of ways.
It's being a manager is an art form, and not everybody can. You can't just throw a Stacy Keibler out there.
No, Paul Heyman is Picasso. If managing is an art form, Paul Heyman is Picasso.
Taker about to go up, climb up the inside. Oh, drop a boot.
Yeah, using the cell, innovative offense. I like it.
Throwing Brock again. Brock is vulnerable here. He hasn't been. Heyman just yelling, Brock, Brock, Ooh, look at this camera shot. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff, dude. Brock getting cheese grated across the cage.
Yeah.
Here.
And here's I appreciate the blood here because of the story. I don't need blood in every single match or every week or anything, but here it serves the story, and I understand why they don't do it a lot nowadays.
Of course.
I'm not mad if some pops up every now and then, Well, if it's going to pop up, it's usually in a Brock match hard way.
True. He gets away with it.
Ooh, this is false count anywhere. You just pin him on the outside.
So
sometimes that changes.
It changes from match to match inside Hell in a Cell, it seems like.
Yeah. Sometimes you can pin him on top. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you got to pin him in the ring. It just, whatever they need the finish to be that night is what they're going to make.
Bingo.
Yeah. Oh.
And there's no spoilers here. We've already talked about this match. Everyone's already seen this match, but it's super interesting that they never leave the cell here, which might be the first one up to this point. One of the first. It was more common at this time for them to leave the cell than it was to not leave the cell.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that they have such a great match without resorting to any spots where they have to throw somebody off the top of the cell.
Brock is lawn darted into that. I mean, he can't sell like that for anybody else.
No.
The Rock's not going to handle him like that.
No.
Flair's not going to. RVD's not going to. Test isn't going to. None of these guys, the Hardys, none of these guys are going to be able to handle him. This is the only guy on the roster that can handle him like this. And Taker, again, risking his own broken bone to punch him in the head with a cast.
It's so unique. We've never seen a match with Undertaker with a cast like that, and it really does add something to it.
Yeah, this is it.
It's a nice little storyline twist to it that you don't see very much.
Apron leg drop.
Very old school.
Yeah, it very much is. It reminds me of the Memphis shows we watched. It's something you'd seen back in Memphis. You know
what I don't notice all that often?
What's that?
It's because his hair is usually covering it. That tattoo on his neck. On the back of his neck.
The back of his neck, yeah. Oh,
I just don't think about that very much. Taker going to the top.
Oh, my. What's he going to do?
It's not old school. He's going to hold on. What would you call that, Travis?
I call that a 180 knee drop on the apron. I think he made it up right there.
I call it botchamania.
What? Brock, I tell you what.
What do you think he was going for?
I don't know. He just remembered his match with Jeff Hardy and was trying to do something.
Monkey bar across the cell and opted against it and then fell around and did something where he landed on Brock.
And here's Heyman talking smack through there, reaching through, trying to grab Taker.
Yeah, those camera holes in the cell. So he's got his whole arm through the cage.
Swiping like a kitten at the Undertaker, which is not a good idea.
There's a guy in his formal wear right there in the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, big boot to Heyman.
Taker, Heyman has the same, bone structure as a referee. He just gets booted one time and he just collapses. American flag WWE shirt over there.
Yeah.
Those were popular at the time. Oh, Heyman's up.
Heyman is up, and look at that.
No.
Paul Heyman wearing a crimson mask. When have you ever seen that before?
Really? Oh, this is the best. Taker just, boom, slamming him in.
He's pulling his tie.
Pulling his necktie.
Through the fence hole.
And just yo-yoing him back and forth. And he moves out of the way, and Brock runs and kills him. Oh, man.
I was trying to think before. Has Paul Heyman ever bled before this or after this? It's super rare if it's happened before.
I don't know. And just 2 years after this, Heyman would feud with Taker again and the Dudley Boys.
He's one of the Undertaker's longest rivals.
It really is.
We talked about that throughout the history of the show, for sure.
From managing him in WCW
exactly.
to being his longest standing
Dudley
rival.
Boys, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. And look at that, dude. He's right there in the camera shot.
Oh, he knows where to be.
He does know where to be. Oh, that's a great shot.
That's great.
Him right up against Taker.
Yeah, back to back with the chain mesh in between his bloodied head.
And we talked about this on our original episode, but man, they did a lot to really sell you on the brutality of the Hell in a Cell itself during this time. And that's why Paul Heyman is bleeding right now, is to sell you not just on this match, but on the Hell in a Cell concept, on the structure.
Yeah.
They did interviews with Timmy White before this match, who separated his shoulder in a previous Hell in a Cell match, just to talk about how Hell in a Cell takes a toll. No one is ever the same after Hell in a Cell. And they just don't do as good of a job of building that up these days.
Right. Heyman took his belt off, hope his pants stay up, and he passed it in there to Brock. Brock is putting the belt on the cast.
On the cast arm, on the right arm.
Turn into a strap match.
That's so brilliant, though.
It is. Now he's got to feed it through to Heyman. Heyman's holding it up.
That's creative.
Oh, this is genius. It's great storytelling. Again, this 5-star matches don't have to be flip, flop, fly, super athleticism. It's telling a story right here. This is a story. And I'm not saying this is a 5-star
big chair
match,
shot,
but I'm saying it's on its way.
I'll say it. It's 5 stars in my book.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so good.
I don't care what Dave Meltzer gives it. It's 5 stars to me.
Smashing that hand while Heyman is holding it. This is just beautiful storytelling.
He hit him so hard with that chair, it ripped through the leather belt.
Yeah, that's crazy. The belt ripped.
I don't even know if that was supposed to happen. Yeah,
I doubt it. So now we're just going to improvise.
And Brock's going
to
tear the cast
med
off.
School. Tear the cast off. You got to get scissors, dude.
Dude,
I've never had a cast on. You got to cut it off.
They're not easy to come off. That's kind of the whole point.
Dremel tool, yeah. Oh, but Taker's not going to take it. He's going to fire back, and even with the injured hand. What I was going to say a few minutes ago was that I don't think that Brock Lesnar gets the credit for his selling. I don't think he ever has. He is, and I'm not just saying this, he is legitimately one of the best sellers that's ever been in the business. Obviously a Mr. Perfect, a Dolph Ziggler, something like that. A Rick Rude, dude, selling the
atomic drops.
Atomic drops. But no, in all seriousness, Brock is one of the best sellers that there is. One of the best.
I think he gets crap because
he's Brock.
Well, he does have times where he squashes people. Like
sure.
He squashed
I'm not
Kofi
saying
Kingston.
he sells all the time.
Well, yeah, that's my point. Like, he has those moments where he squashes Kofi Kingston or he squashes Ricochet or somebody like that. And people think,
idol.
people just think in their heads, this guy doesn't care. Or like, that weird match he had with Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania, that those guys just didn't click or whatever. But dude, watch his match with Daniel Bryan. Watch his match with AJ Styles. Watch his match with CM Punk.
Him and Taker.
These guys that are smaller than him, and he will. There is always a spot in that match where it's like one of the best near falls you'll ever see. Mm-hmm. Rey Mysterio. He had that match with Mysterio where him and Dominic did the 619. It's a great near fall. Somebody shared on Twitter the other day. It was going viral, like the Daniel Bryan hitting that running knee on Brock Lesnar in that match, and it's like an epic near fall. And that's what makes the Brock character great, in much the same way that the Undertaker character is great. Is that he's not going out there and selling and bumping all the time.
No,
but when he does, it matters. It means something.
That's the key right there. Just like Taker, Taker sells when he needs. He sells on the run. Austin always says that. All right, Brock has just got a championship. Looks like he won a championship title. He got
cast. Made of
He's so happy.
Paper.
Made of
construction
paper. Vince is like, give me a cast. Boss, what does he look like? It doesn't matter. Paper's fine.
You know what I haven't noticed on Taker is the carabiner.
Carabiner? I've been looking.
I have not seen it. I don't think he wore it for this match.
Maybe he didn't want it. He could have clipped him to the cell.
Ooh, that would have been smart.
Brock could have clipped his belt to the belt loop. All right, so here we go. Brock is working over that arm. Again, it's simple psychology.
And it's a great way to force The Undertaker to sell this dead man character who typically doesn't do that. It's a great way to build sympathy on him as a babyface who's struggling and trying to overcome the odds here.
Yeah, not a lot of guys can do that to Taker.
No, it's very smart. Oh, I did see it. It's on the left side of his pants.
There you go.
The carabiner is there, Randy.
Carabiner spotted.
The carabiner has been spotted here.
I spotted his white calves, too.
And his white socks there.
Yeah.
Oh, Brock going for a Frankensteiner.
Swing.
Top rope Frankensteiner?
Double boot to the chest. swinging on the monkey bars. This is great.
These guys just making it up.
Oh, boots to the head, man. I love it. Yeah, Brock is about to do a Frankensteiner off the top rope like he's wrong.
Tornado DDT? I don't know what he's doing here.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think he does either.
Oh, that's what it's there for. Death Valley blow.
And look at that push.
Yeah, Brock went halfway across the ring.
He literally. Oh, my.
Paul Heyman looks like he's in
everybody's head.
Horror movie. Oh, my
October.
word.
We'd be remiss if we did not mention the cold open of this show.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us what happened?
Nah, you remind everybody about it, man.
Cold open of the show, doesn't have anything happen, and then you see Taker in the locker room, and then Kane comes and sits next to him, and I believe they look at each other and say, "Hey, how's your week been?" That's it. It's so good. Taker, with a elbow.
What was that?
Elbow drop off of the top rope.
Yeah, sort of a crab walk elbow there across the rope.
Look at the crowd on their feet.
Everybody.
Well, not the ones behind the ring announcer, into the ring, the commentary, but those guys.
Now, I may be misremembering here. I believe Taker used to do something like that back in the Mean Mark Callis days.
He did. He used to walk across and jump. It was like what Xavier Woods does now. Mm-hmm. So he flies way across the ring. But yeah, he would walk across, and then in addition to doing the old school, he'd walk across and then jump and do a diving elbow.
Pretty cool for him to bust that out here.
Yeah. And
boy, Paul Heyman's ponytail's a lot longer back then than it is.
He didn't have it anymore.
He doesn't even have it anymore. You're right.
Got it off years ago, but yeah, it's just. But his hair's still. Apron stunner from Brock Lesnar.
Oh, a page out of Taker's book.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's been reading.
He's been studying.
Oh, but look at that bump, dude.
I thought Brock only read that hunting magazine.
Oh, I don't know. I got nothing.
Or some of Sable's magazines.
Yeah, she likes magazines. What if that's where he found her? He didn't even know she was in wrestling. He's like, hey, she's. Oh. Again, this company hit. Oh, Taker with a tope.
What is he, Johnny Gargano all of a sudden?
Oh, it melts my heart to see Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens teaming up together. It is one of my favorite things in wrestling right now.
It's fun. Yeah,
and Candice LeRae surprising comeback. It's a blast. I'm having fun watching wrestling again.
NXT is taking over Monday Night Raw.
I love it. NXT takeover Raw.
Exactly.
SmackDown. Look at that tope. Suicide dive. It's just great. Oh, Taker getting the hardware. He's getting the stairs. Ooh, but he can't lift it. Look at that cell. He couldn't lift it because his hand.
That's right.
I love it. Ooh.
A lot of guys would forget, would not even pay attention to that.
I love that clothesline right there. Remember that clothesline
to the outside.
The game?
Sure.
That was like Brock's clothesline.
Sure.
On the SmackDown versus Raw video games. Or I guess it would have been SmackDown. What would have been? Oh, Here Comes the Pain?
Well, it would not be No Mercy because Brock wasn't around those times. But
yeah.
Can we just talk about No Mercy for a second?
That new AEW game looks kind of similar to that stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if they got to adjust the roster now. And who knows?
Nothing better than No Mercy in my book.
Nope. This is the best wrestling game of all time.
Some of the best memories I've ever had with you playing No Mercy together.
Yep. Oh!
Huge chair shot. Or stair shot, excuse me.
Yeah.
Not a stairs match. Undertaker would be in a stairs match in the future. But, no, a chairs match. He was not in a stairs match.
No.
He's in a chairs match against Batista.
Oh, my goodness. He's got ketchup all over his head.
And this is probably the biggest blade job of Undertaker's career. Right here.
My
he
goodness.
hits a gusher.
I'm glad you said blade. Yeah.
No, we just talked about Sable a few minutes ago, Travis.
That's Lesnar. He hits him again. And then he just yaks it.
Good Lord, toss those stairs like they're...
blood just pouring out of his head. This is what I remember. This is what I remember.
Taker is literally gushing blood. You see it dripping out onto the mat. Oh, look at Heyman.
Probably, yeah.
Just sitting there in between the cage, blood pouring down his face, laughing maniacally.
Cowboy boots on. This is probably one of the bloodiest WWE matches to this point. They were never really as big on blood as like a WCW was
Right.
in NWA. I mean, they had blood for sure. It's definitely in the Attitude Era, but
I mentioned it in our episode on this. I think it's this, and then Cena and
Years later,
JBL and JBL and Eddie, both
yeah.
have just some absolutely nasty, nasty blood. And
Yes.
Vince versus Zach Gowen a couple years after this. I think hard way. I think Vince accidentally busts himself open. It's just pouring out of his face.
Oh, spine buster.
Spine on the pine.
Bloody Taker. Nobody's gone for a pin for a while.
Well,
1, 2, kick out in the last second.
nah, not
even
gonna do it.
Not a forceful kick. Oh,
Oh,
Ric
he
Flair
goes for a second
goes for
pin.
the Flair pin.
I love it. One of my favorite things.
Oh my, that's terrifying.
Every time you turn around, Taker is just pouring blood.
Yeah, he had too much baby aspirin before he cut himself.
You just didn't see this with The Undertaker, though.
No.
This isn't the first time he's ever bled.
Nope.
But it was very, very rare. He's
Yeah, he
not
and
Ric
Austin
Flair where he's
Right.
bleeding in every match. Like, it matters
Or John
when
Moxley
Taker
nowadays.
does it. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. I love Moxley, but that's one of my things. I don't like how
or
much he bleeds.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold bled all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And his most iconic one was passing down the sharpshooter.
Right. And, a lot of time it was great, but a lot of time it was like, did we really need that? Yeah.
The last time we saw Taker bleed was probably against Austin when they bled all that week up until the first blood match.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
They were bloody on the way down the ring, which was dumb.
I mean, his black leather pants, you can see the blood on them. His whole entire face
Yeah.
is coming out.
It's on the camera.
It's on the freaking camera.
Oh, my word. This sell job that Brock is doing when Taker's stomping his hand is amazing.
This is why this is TVMA right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
this is
for the
rated
faint of
TVMA.
heart.
And they're not graying this out. Oh, that sell job is fantastic. Yep, Carabiners swinging. I see it. Swinging in the wind. The Carabiner, my friend, blowing in the wind. All right, here he goes. Old school.
I'll tell you what, Travis. I have had stitches before. I've cut
I've not.
my head above, or right above my eye. I've cut my finger.
Was that when you ran into the door at middle school?
I opened a door, swung it open, it busted open, and it swung back. It hit me in the glasses.
Yeah, I remember
busted
that.
me open, got 6 stitches.
Oh,
I don't want to be performing at this level when I'm
Right.
bleeding that tiny
Right.
amount, and I was not bleedting a tenth
Yeah.
of what Undertaker is bleeding,
oh my! It is just pouring off his
dripping
nose.
onto the mat.
It's gross. It's unhealthy.
It really is.
Yeah, it's excessive. It's an accident. I mean, you can't. Oh, here he goes. Gonna
Up
F5
for
him.
the F5.
Oh, nope. Taker's gonna get out.
Chokeslam
with the bad hand.
How about that?
Ooh.
Oh!
Didn't get all of it because of the bad hand.
Nah, he sells it. Takes a minute to go for the cover. And again, you can see the blood all over his leather pants.
Oh my
like,
god! It looks like he's Sting in 1998, just painted up red. Like,
his entire
his
face.
entire left side of his face is red. He'd fit in AEW right now, painting half his face. There's about 9 guys. that
My
paint their face
word.
in AEW. It's a little absurd.
Goes for the punches again on Brock in the corner. Like at this point,
it's
you
in his
have
eye.
no idea who's gonna win here. Like both
No.
guys are like spent, giving it their
yeah.
all.
I forgot how good this match is. I didn't, but like this is reminding me.
Two men just like battling, two warriors, man, giving everything.
I might watch this match back with some of my buddies up here that we're getting into wrestling again. You know, it'd be great.
Brock taunting,
Oh,
pretend like he's gonna go for the last ride. He does the fist raise there. Taker with the back body drop,
flips him over.
flips him out over there.
Oh, one of my favorites, the running DDT. I wonder if Taker has these pants somewhere.
Man,
Probably could take him to a bloodmobile and just wrung him out.
just like a towel, just wringing
No,
him
they
out.
my blood, not in my pants though. Oh man. Ew, it's just like oozing off his head.
Oozing like a horror movie. Man.
All right, he's calling
It's
for
like
it.
it's special effects, but he's just gushing
goes.
blood.
Yeah, I don't think Russ was getting enough credit for blading too. I mean, you're literally losing blood. I mean, and oxygen.
No, it doesn't feel good.
No,
It's not
it's
healthy.
just- no, it's part of the
He's
part of the art.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I know what's happening here.
Oh, you think so?
I
Taker
do.
in the corner.
10
Brock
punches.
going for 10
3,
punches.
4. Did you see Sheamus do the 25 beats of the bout, whatever it's called the other day on that guy? It was amazing. And last right out of the corner. Boom!
Oh, classic mistake there from Brock.
Classic
now I saw
mistake there.
Cesaro had the swing on Jericho. I didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
the
But Taker
beats
can't
the
cover.
Bowery. Because he just lost
1.
7
2.
ounces of blood in the past 10
This,
seconds.
my one gripe with the
That-
match was right there.
What's that?
The rope break in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it's Falls Count Anywhere. We've already seen them pinned outside. Blood is in Brock Lesnar's mouth. Undertaker's blood is in his mouth right now.
It's like Shark Week in a
Jeez.
shark cage.
I'm watching Hostel out here.
Yeah.
My gosh. Oh, a throat slash.
Uh-oh. I'm glad he didn't do that when he bladed. He did. Going for the tombstone. He's trying.
Which he didn't do during these times.
Right.
He never did the tombstone.
Brock flips him back. He's going to go for it.
Brock gonna go for a tombstone?
Oh, my.
Oh,
Dude.
beast him up.
Golly.
F5.
What a nasty F5. 1, 2, 3.
It's
That's
gotta
it.
be it.
In a heap of blood. Yeah, no
What
one
a
kicked out of the
finish.
F5 back then. That's
Nope.
so good.
It was protected like the tombstone was.
Yep. No one kicked out. Now, it is cool for a near fall every now and then, but I think Taker's kicked out of like 4 in one match before, and Roman's kicked out of like 5.
Things have changed. Yeah, for sure.
But, man, that was fantastic.
And look at this man, Brock Lesnar.
He's covered in another man's blood.
He's covered in blood, but he is not even. He just busted out of the cage, and look what he's about to do here.
And if I'm not mistaken, Pritchard said on his show, I believe that this was an audible. I don't know that they were supposed
I bet
to
it
end
was.
this way.
I believe that.
Yeah.
He goes
I
and
think-
grabs the undisputed title here.
He said that this part right here was just a shoot. Brock just like, all right, I'm going up. So, yeah, which try to do that nowadays.
And we talked about this in our last episode. He's not selling here. He's not selling this beatdown, this brutal match. But it almost kind of works because he is such a freak. He is such a unique character that it's like, man, I am just in shock that he just defeated The Undertaker in that brutal of a match. And here he is. It doesn't even matter.
Yep. Because he's who he, again, it serves the character.
How do you
can't-
stop this guy?
Yeah.
He is wearing The Undertaker's blood all over his body.
Yep.
And he's
This
still
right
walking
here.
out as the champ.
This climb up here, according to Pritchard, was just an audible.
Yeah.
So, here we are. We're going to end the show this way. Got to make sure the belts are on right.
Very cool moment. Very cool
Very
visual
cool.
here.
Oh, yeah.
With that beautiful Undisputed Championship. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Mikey. Just flexing like he's, been through nothing. Again, if a Rey Mysterio won this match and then did this, or Seth Rollins even, and didn't sell,
Whew.
it wouldn't mean anything. It'd take away from the match. But this guy can not really sell.
He pulls
and
it
it's
off.
fine because it's building that character up is unbelievable. So, yeah, I love that, dude. That was a fantastic, fantastic match.
Still holds up in your eyes? Still the
Oh.
number one for that era?
Without question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number one with a bullet, man. That's so good.
I agree 100%, man. I like it even more. Gets better with age.
Yeah.
It's just great to see those guys match the styles of which you just don't see anymore. Definitely not in WWE.
No, and that's, no, definitely not. And again, probably for the better.
probably
because
for the
of-
best.
But yeah, just you can still have a good Hell in a Cell, like we talked about, with Cody and Seth. There've been some other ones now, every now and then, but yeah, what a great just storytelling match, with the arm and with just the brutality. Just phenomenal. That's wrestling, man. That's the art form right there.
Bingo.
Ah,
Well, I
yes.
encourage, if you didn't watch it along with us, I encourage all you listening to go revisit this 20 years after the fact here, October 2002.
That's just, time is funny. It's been 20 years since that. That's crazy, man.
Yep, we were in high school.
I was thinking about it the other day, it's been 11 years since Punk's pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Which, think about it. That's just weird. And since NWO, I was talking about NWO, it's been 26 years since NWO. That's just wild. To think about go back 26 years from NWO. It would have been 1970. It would have been 26 years before the NWO. It's just crazy to think about, it's weird.
No,
So.
I mean, in my head, it was 2006 last week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. So, 20 years back from this match would have been, what, 82 before it was WrestleMania.
No, somebody online, they said they were talking about the DX 25th anniversary, which is going to be on Raw in a couple weeks from now. It's like, imagine if in 1998, in the middle of the Attitude Era, they had the Bruno Sammartino superstar Billy Graham 25th anniversary in the middle of Raw. What would you be thinking right then? It's just it's a weird time. It's a different time.
It is. But anyway.
Well, I want to give a shout out to a friend of the show, Jokerius Torrance. He is a incredible Undertaker cosplayer. And he commented on one of our posts previewing this episode, said, one of the most brutal matches Taker ever had. Nothing compared on how these two went all out. People say Brock ended the streak and their other two matches, or their other previous matches, were top notch, but this match, the 2002 Hell in a Cell, proved me wrong on how Brock could be the true next big thing. So, kind of, saying he didn't believe in Brock up until this point, but this match proved him wrong, and this match is truly one of the most brutal Undertaker ever had.
This is probably my favorite Brock Taker match.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, they've had a number of them, and they're usually good, but I think this is the best one without question.
Yeah. It's crazy that your best one is your first one, and he's so young.
Yeah.
Usually you get better the more you work with each other.
Right.
It's crazy.
Brock had that ability all the way back then, and here he is still these days pulling out great matches.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, if you were there, I'd like to know.
Of course. If you were there, No Mercy 2002, 20 years ago, we'd love to hear your memories 20 years from now. And if you watch this match during this month, please hit us up on social media at Talking Taker, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know where to find us at this point, at Talking Taker. Interact with us. Let us know. Leave a comment on our YouTube page as well for this episode. Of course, you can watch the full video versions of our podcast on our YouTube channel. We'd love to subscribe.
Live from my closet.
Subscribe live from Travis's closet, live from the basement, the prep room here, as I call it. Subscribe, because it's not the only thing you're getting. You're not just getting podcasts. You're getting Undertaker toy unboxings, figure unboxings that I'm doing on there. You've got vlogs from our SummerSlam trip. If you haven't ever checked that out, that is on our YouTube page. Exclusive stuff goes on the YouTube page that doesn't go on the podcast feed.
That's right.
So you got to subscribe to YouTube, and you got to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts. Leave us a rating and review wherever you do listen, and we are out there everywhere on the podcast feeds. Speaking of podcasts, I got to shout out our friends, the Bottom Line Wrestling Podcast. They are continuing through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. They actually just put out an episode covering the end of their chronological coverage of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So they covered all the way up to his appearance in 2020, that first week of the pandemic. You remember that, Travis? 316 day, the first pandemic episode of Raw. So they just covered that. They're not done by any means. Of course,
still got to do the one from this year, right?
They did do one on that one, but they're going to go back and do another one as well. But they did one right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And they're doing some very fun stuff on stunning Steve Austin in WCW as well. I've really enjoyed those episodes. Of course, go check them out. Go check out our other podcast, or our other brother podcast, Collecting Dead Man. who is going through The Undertaker's career and his memorabilia in a unique way, different than this one. I want to shout out Steven from the Collecting Dead Man podcast. He has been sent me some random Undertaker gifts, sent me an Undertaker Christmas ornament.
Nice.
Also
saw that.
Yeah, purchased a couple figures from him as well. So I always appreciate Steven. And shout out friend of the show, Randy Turco, who was looking out for the Undertaker Superstars figure that's recently been out and sent that to me as well.
Did you win that one from Wrestling Inc. yet?
I didn't win that one, man. Didn't win
dang.
that contest. Did the giveaway, didn't win
Had
that
the tag title, the WCW tag title, right?
Yeah. Want to shout out another friend of the show, Watch Along Tommy, always a great friend of ours. He was at the Grand Slam, the AEW Grand Slam, and he texted me while I was there and said he basically was trying to do the equivalent of what you were doing at SummerSlam, Travis, trying to two-sweet everybody, and people were confused by it, had no idea what was going on, except he was doing the acclaimed scissor me sort of deal with them.
Wow.
And people were just like, didn't know what to do with him. So wrestling fans just,
it's like the most over thing in AEW right
they
now.
just get confused when you go up to them.
That's why I love doing it. That's why I love it.
Shout out to another listener or watcher of the show, Thomas Rodriguez, who comments on our YouTube videos all the time. Shout out to you, Thomas. Seems like you hate our show half the time, but we appreciate you listening, whether you like us or not, man. I enjoy reading your comments, dude, no matter what happens. He hates NXT, though.
Yeah.
Don't talk about NXT around Thomas. He will not
2.0 is gone. It's back to 1.0.
And I want to shout out a friend of ours. He is not I don't think he's a listener of the show, but he's a friend of ours personally, Caleb Bacon. We talked about your music, Travis. I want to shout out our buddy Caleb. He's got some new music out on Spotify. Caleb Bacon, you can listen to his new album, Good Times, on Spotify for some good times, some good summer listening music here, as we're in October, but some good summertime listening.
He's the one, if you guys will remember,
we have talked about it.
WrestleMania 27 with us and had to leave early. And then also we talked about him. You asked some memories of some show, and all he said was like Dudley Boy.
Something stupid.
Something stupid, yeah. So yeah, Caleb has been on there before mentioned, but yeah, he's got new tunes out, so check those out.
Good dude. Check him out. T-shirts at tpublic.com, as we've already mentioned. You can get one of those, support the show, and look as cool as Travis does. Get a picture with Undertaker, we will send you out something. Get on TV in a Talking Taker shirt, we'll send you out something. Travis, next month, man, what are we doing? November. What's the November episode going to be?
Oh, you're just going to listen to November Rain over and over again for an hour.
All right, deep dive on November Rain by Guns N' Roses.
Taking a break. We'll let you guys know what we're doing.
November 1st, we'll be here with a brand new Talking Taker. And be sure to check out the podcast feed. We'll try to bring another classic Talking Taker episode back from the dead for you to revisit there before we get to that one as well. Man, I think I hit everything. I think I hit everything I wanted to hit. You got anything else to plug besides Bridges available now?
Nope. Nothing. Bridges is available now on all streaming platforms.
It's out there.
Check it out. Check me out at Bristol for the last time this year. So we'll see what happens after that. But anyway, yeah, thank y'all for your support on Talking Taker. Thanks for sticking with us. Enjoy Extreme Rules in a week if you're listening to this on time. And we'll hope to see you next month with whatever we're going to bring to you. Check it out. Stay safe out there. And if you were there, we want to know about it at No Mercy 2002. And as always, uber importance, take her easy.